The pressure's on now. It's being recorded.
It's being recorded.
So I basically just have the RFP in front of me, and I was just gonna do like first 2 pages.
Okay.
And then let you pick it up with the scope, I guess.
Technical stuff. Yep.
I think the most interesting will be the questions that if like what questions they have. So is there extra points for whoever arrives early, right? For the military time?
That's literally what I was just thinking. You're already late now.
Comes one. So we're recording the session and we're just waiting for more people to show up. We'll wait a couple more minutes for everybody to have time to log in. We're recording the session. Just give it another minute and then I think we can probably get started. So Elena, you could start whenever you're ready.
Awesome. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you for taking time out of your afternoon to join us. My name is Elena Howard. I'm the Chief Development Officer for Coast Guard Mutual Assistance. in our time together today, we thought we would just give you a brief overview of our organization, how we function, some of our goals and priorities, who our clients are, and then Sarah will continue to talk a little bit more specifically about the project. So Coast Guard Mutual Assistance has been around since 1924. We are a charity that serves Coast Guard members and their families. We're part of a larger collective of military aid societies that serve all service members. So that's one of the unique things about us. So we're a pretty small staff. So we have 12 staff members. I guess about half of us are here on the call today. So that's good to have those familiar faces around. And really, we've just had like some pretty incredible growth over the last couple of years. So in 2019, there was the government shutdown, which the Coast Guard was not paid. And so we did a bunch of assistance then. COVID, helping Coast Guard members. And then last year with Hurricane Ida, that was also our second largest hurricane response in our history. So for our website, really looking to address our clients, but then also our donors, and then our reps. So those three audiences are primarily who use our website and who there's unique challenges for each of those groups. And so creating one site that is available for all of them. Sarah, what have I missed?
What a rep is. So a rep is
yeah.
somebody who is in the Coast Guard, and to us, they're volunteers, but it's part of their job in the Coast Guard to process assistance applications for us. And so they're on their Coast Guard workstation, and they're doing this collateral duty. They need to get on our website and see what the rules are for various things, and then connect to our database so that they can process things. So I'll just go over a little bit about the project. We are looking to completely redesign the website. It's currently in Dreamweaver. That is not a good thing. So we're looking to move to a content management system that is easier for us to update. I've tried to be as specific as I could on the project scope. There are things that are outside the scope and things that are inside. I did get a question about where I said adherence to high security standards. So the site passes USCG security scans. So this is not a set package of stuff that has to be. It's whatever the Coast Guard is looking at that day. When they are scanning sites that people visit from their workstations. So they have filters that they have, and they are investigating sites that people are going to. And an example is recently we got a call from them, and they had found that our version of Apache was outdated. And then we discovered that we were with iPage, and iPage only offers a really outdated version of Apache. So we had to move to Bluehost just kind of all of a sudden, because otherwise that was something that was going to cause Coast Guard to block our site on their workstations. So we have some higher standards about security because of that need to be on government workstations. So keeping the latest versions of everything, responding to security breaches on different software, and just knowing that we're always going to have to, it's not anything completely out of the ordinary. It's just that among commercial websites, we need to be one of the good ones. So that is that. We have a relatively tight timeline. Proposals due on the 22nd, and then we will have finalists present to us and make a final decision. And then we would like to have the project completed by the end of March. Our annual campaign is the month of April, so it would be good to have the new site ready to go for that.
The annual campaigns are big fundraising drive.
Biggest fundraising drive. Yep. And so you've got a few things that we want to see in the RF and the proposal, and just the selection criteria that we're going to rank people on, trying to keep everything fair for everybody. So I think at that point, we can open up to you guys if you have questions. What can we share more about? Leslie?
That I'm off mute, right? You can hear me?
Yes.
Excellent. I have so many questions, partly because I've had my team already look at your RFP. We've looked at your website. We had much excitement on the team that the site is in Dreamweaver, which is where lots of us cut our teeth, like a very long time ago. So we're very excited about the opportunity to get you out of Dreamweaver and into something modern. We love WordPress. It's what we do day in and day out. So that's going to be our proposal to you. But anyway, so many questions. So one of the first ones is that you mentioned that one of the challenges with your site is that there's limited cross-referencing. And I suspect by this, you just mean that you don't do much internal linking from one of your pages to another, right?
Right.
Fantastic.
Yep, that's what I mean.
You also mentioned that it's how important it is that the site be extremely fast loading for especially those members who are on a boat in the middle of the ocean with low bandwidth, and that you feel like a lot of the loading problems you're having now are due to images and animations. And I wonder if you can kind of help us to understand how you prioritize the having a beautiful site versus having an extremely fast site. Just say some words about that. I realize that you're going to be like, it needs to be both. But
yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think particularly on pages that talk about program stuff, less with the graphics. Whereas donation pages maybe could be a little fancier.
Okay. That
But
makes sense. And that
the
gets back
people
to
who
what
are
you were
really
mentioning earlier about
struggling,
audiences. Yeah,
the people
that
who are
we
really
need to-
struggling are going for program information.
Got it. That's perfect. I can yield the floor to somebody else that has questions and then come back and ask more. I don't want to hog our time.
Okay, who else can I answer a question for?
Hi, this is Chris with Yoko CO. I'll jump in real quick. I just joined. I'm sorry, I was just a couple minutes late, but just want to talk about the idea of the domain change. Has that come up since I've been on?
No.
Okay. So yeah, the idea of that, the HQ sounds like it's sort of a hiccup there. But how is SEO? I mean, there's a little bit of a relationship there, and you've talked about SEO. So can you talk about that domain name change, and then what role you see SEO today versus what you wanted on the new site to be?
We have very little SEO at present. Elena,
Okay.
you want to talk to that a little bit?
Yeah, so I mean, I think one of the things we're looking for some help with that, I would say.
Okay.
That's one of the things that is a priority for us. We do know that when you search Coast Guard charities or something like that, like what comes up, we want it to be us, right? And there are some of
Sure.
those things that do have the like kind of organic hits, but we haven't done any strategic wordsmithing to make sure that that's where it needs to be. And that's been a bandwidth problem, to be perfectly honest. Like, again,
sure.
we have a very small staff, and so not having the bandwidth to devote to that has been one of the things.
And just not to get too far out in the weeds, but just curious, anecdotally, what do you see using SEO to drive folks to the site for? To donate, to get help? What do you see that being the driver of?
I think
So
it's
both,
mainly donate,
but
though.
mostly donations, yeah.
For instance, sometimes somebody will give money in their will to something not real specific about Coast Guard.
Okay.
And some lawyer somewhere will type in Coast Guard charity
Yeah. Okay.
to Google.
Interesting.
and see what comes up.
Yeah.
And you could get some serious money from that.
Yeah.
You know, if you have somebody who has been, you know, they have their private boat and they've been helped by the Coast Guard, they want to give something.
Yes. Sure.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, got it. So that could be sort of a backdoor to donations if you're in the right place at the right time. I got it. Okay.
Exactly.
And then I'll yield from after this one. But there's a mention of a CRM, and just wondering what that is and what the role of it is in the project.
Good question. So we currently are using an association management system called NetForum. It's a bit crusty at this point, and we are evaluating how soon we're going to replace it.
Mhm.
So, you know, that's the next big project.
Yeah.
And we have a number of things that would be nice if they were integrated, but probably will not be integrated until we get a new CRM.
Yeah, understood. So it's so you wouldn't have something like single sign-on or anything integrated with NetForum. They're two standalone situations right now.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so that doesn't affect the launch of the website, coordinating it with an AMS launch.
Right.
Got it.
And
Okay.
in the scope, I've got listed a few things where we just have sort of standalone forms on the website. One of those is to get donation allotments from their Coast Guard pay. We just have an HTML form that saves to a MySQL database. So we'd like to have a slightly more sophisticated form than that, but
Pick that
we're
up a
not.
little bit.
We're probably not going to integrate that to NetForum. We're probably going to wait till we have a new system.
With a new system. Got it. Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Good questions. Leslie, do you have another one?
Yes, thank you for asking. I'd like to go back to that question about the donation allotments. I would just love to know kind of what you have in mind for the replacement of that, because it's not connected directly to the donation form. It's inevitably going to be a little bit Mickey Mouse, a little bit duct tape. But what would be an improvement over your current system for you?
Just that we're not hand coding it in HTML.
Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
That helps a lot. Okay. Then another question is really about your content. Obviously, if we're coming from a tool like Dreamweaver, we're dealing with static HTML. We're bringing that into a much more dynamic content management system like WordPress. So we need to fully understand what are we facing there. Are we looking at copying and pasting all of your content? Are you happy with everything you have? Do you already sort of have a catalog of what stays and what goes?
I think we have everything. It's just not organized very well, and a good bit of it needs to be rewritten. We have added so many programs in the last few years, and we used to have fewer programs and they changed less often. And so we've got a lot of content that has come from these how-to manuals that we give our reps.
Okay.
And so it's older content, and then we add a new program, we add another new program, add another new program. The content is sort of written for the reps sometimes, and it's not necessarily written for the clients. So we need some help with organizing that content and reworking it.
Okay. When you say reworking it, are you looking for help rewriting it?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. And rewriting not only to make it fresh, make it targeted at the audience you actually want to target it for, not just the reps, but also be good for search engines, I assume.
Yes.
Fantastic. What about that rep finding map? Are you more or less happy with the way that that's working?
More or less, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
That is like a really key feature of the website, though. So that's definitely something that would need to be included going forward.
Yeah. Okay. And I assume that the rep information on there does change periodically. So it's something y'all need to be able to edit on the back end.
Yes.
Yeah. Very good. Okay, final question for me, and then I'll stand back for another few minutes. I see that you have this link that allows service members to provide or to send you a secure message, and I wonder if no, does that not sound familiar?
That would be a lie.
I see. Okay. Do you want to continue lying about that? / no? So just regular contact forms.
Yes.
Got it. Thank you.
Make a note of that, Shilpy. We got to take that off.
This is Chris at Yoko. Again, real quick, just to go back to what Leslie said, I just want to clarify on that rep site locator. I was driving that maybe you're good with it as it is and just make sure it's on the site as opposed to us recoding it or rethinking it.
You probably, you might want to move it to a tool that works in your CMS. We're using it's just called Store Locator, but it's in the UK.
Got it. So you're open. It's not just bring it over as is. You're open to say, hey, give us an alternative. Got it. Okay, just want to make sure.
The functionality of it as it to.
Yeah.
So we're generally happy with the way it works.
Yeah.
It doesn't need anything crazy different.
Yep. Got it. It needs to do at least that. Got it. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Great. Thanks.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'll go.
Okay. Leslie's doing the job of all the questions.
How important is it that you keep the old meeting minutes from old meetings on the site? Does that need to come over?
Oh my God, it has to come over.
Really?
CEO says.
Okay, fair enough. Understood. How happy are you with the way that your people, staff, team, that sort of information is presented on the site? Do you basically want the same kind of treatment, or do you want something completely different? Are we lacking functionality there?
Generally happy with that level of stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
Cool. When we talk about functionality, is there any functionality that is missing from the site right now? Like a lot of times when I talk with folks like you who are in an ancient tool, they say things like, if only we could have a chat bot, but we can't have a chat bot because our website won't allow it, things like that. So are there things like that that are making you really frustrated about your current platform?
Really, what's making us frustrated is that changes have to go through one person, basically.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That was going to be my question too. What the workflow of a day in the life on your website looks like today, and what's your aspiration for what it would be?
Indeed, that's a good question. So Shilpy is our IT assistant, and she started in June, and she's just taken over the website from our operations support manager, who manages all the reps and does a lot of the cases and manages the store locator feature that we have for finding the reps. But she used to do all of the updates to the website. Now Shilpy's doing all of them. Gosnell's our media guy, but we can't quite figure out how to get, he has to just send things to Shilpy because we can't get all the files to sync correctly. And we would like for operations people to change program information and fundraising people to change fundraising information and more people to be involved in that process.
So decentralize. Okay. Yep. And then did you see?
And we don't currently, because we haven't done anything like that, we don't currently have a workflow for it really.
Sure. Do you see that being like an editor role or a filter saying before anything goes live, it goes through this person, perhaps something like that?
I think we'd want to do a pretty simple workflow.
Sure. Yep. Right.
Just so that it's got two eyes on it, two sets of eyes on it.
Yeah. That deal. Yeah. Very feasible. Okay. Great. Thank you. Yeah.
So in a lot of ways, we're open to you teaching us things and suggesting things to us.
Yeah.
We want
Okay.
to grow. And in general, everything on the website has been done by an internal staff. So it's people who have worked on, like 3 websites before or something and have Googled a lot. So
Okay.
we're ready to go to the next step
Next level
where
up.
somebody who does websites all the time
Yeah.
makes something.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Do y'all have a brand guide that you want to abide by for the new site? Excellent. Very good. I like the easy answers to questions. Those are
It's
the best.
exciting when we can say yes. We have.
Yeah, absolutely. So with we know that you have a very, very important item in your navigation called How We Help. And that it's built into the menu instead of being its own page. And we wonder.
We are not married to that.
Cool. And are there other parts of the site that also function that way that maybe we miss? Because it kind of seems to be different. It's like one of these things is not like the others.
Yeah,
So-
there are a number of things that are sort of over designed like that.
Okay.
Like I don't know if you've gone to the FAQ page that all of them open up, and a lot of things like float in a way that's not really necessary.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
So I think that would be, one of the things in terms of the scope of the project is just helping make sense of how there's so much information on our website. And in general, I would say it is all good content. It is all needed. It needs refreshed, but it's like all the program information on there is because we want people to have access to that program information. Is the way that it is currently organized and presented the best way to do that?
Sure.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
So
Okay. If we were to do something like stakeholder interviews or stakeholder surveys, would you have the ability to help us tap into groups of these individual audiences?
Yes, and we would really like to do that. So,
Okay.
Include some of that in proposals.
Very good.
Can do.
And, that's something we haven't done a lot of in the past.
It's something most people haven't done a lot of, Sarah.
Yes.
So it's
We
no
just
shame.
Yeah.
guess what we think they want.
Yep. You try to be empathetic, try to be intuitive, but now's a good time.
Yeah.
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 Do you have events outside of your golf tournament? Like, should we be equipping you with an event plugin that you can add, on Monday we're having this call and on Tuesday we're having this other thing? Or is it really just the golf tournament?
So right now it's just the golf tournament. We have aspirations to do some seminars.
Okay.
That's sort of a developing thing.
Okay.
We're not really sure how soon that's going to come down the pike.
Sure.
And right now the golf tournament is handled like in terms of payments for access and all of that through QGIve. Is that right? Okay. I'm gonna ask one last question, then I think I'm done. You guys have done a great job answering all of these. I noticed that you have a link to mylegacygift.org for legacy gifting. Safe to assume that remains as is?
Yes.
Fantastic. Then I actually officially yield the floor. Thank you.
Couple logistics, maybe 3-parter. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Just timing wise and whatnot. So proposals due 8/22. Great. Finalists notified 9/5. Do you see anything happening in between their presentations from the final 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
what we're thinking is that we'll invite 3 or 4 finalists to do presentations, and then we'll rank you
Go from there.
again.
Yeah, help be a part of that. Okay, great. And then the project
And check
completion-
references at that point
Okay,
also.
got it. Is there anything driving that 3/31 launch date?
So right before you got on, we mentioned
Okay.
that we have an annual fundraising campaign that's in
Okay.
April.
Yep.
So it would be nice to have that refreshed for that.
Because it's a perception thing. Is that why, like, hey, so many people are coming to the site, it'd be nice to have them see the new one,
Exactly.
kind of a thing? Okay. Okay. Got it. Is there functionality? There's obviously the donation functionality piece is a part of that, right? But that's on the QGIF. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. And then lastly, it says that the proposal be 25 pages. I'm not going to say ours is usually 50, but sometimes it sneaks past 25. I know why you've asked it. I get it, but just so we don't break a rule and get discounted.
Yeah, we're not gonna
Okay.
nickel and dime you.
Okay. All right.
Just
Good to know.
have mercy on us.
Right.
Don't give us too much to look at.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. Anybody on our staff who can think of anything we haven't shared?
This is Erica Chapman. I work with our fundraising team. I know from the proposal request and scope, you discussed support afterwards and what that would look like. And I thought that would be a good thing to say a bit
Yes,
more
that's a
about,
good thing to
your
talk a little
expectations
bit
there.
about.
Yeah, thanks, Sarah.
Absolutely. So we're really looking for a firm that can train us to do a lot of things. So we can do a lot of things in-house, but we also are looking for someone that can support us to escalate issues or help us with changes that come up. And so we're looking to find out if you have the bandwidth for that, what kind of costs we're looking at for the project, and then for ongoing. Connie has a question. You're on mute. No, not getting anything. Okay. All right, I think that's it then. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks so much
Thank
for
you.
joining us.
Thanks for the opportunity. Appreciate it, guys. Good to meet you.
Bye-bye.